All right, you guys, welcome to a little bit of an unusual Tuesday afternoon call. I know I love hanging out with you guys on Thursday mornings, but we had Jim on this past week's virtual coffee, and there was a lot of questions. He had to talk really fast to get through his presentation because his company and platform does a ton of stuff. And so I wanted to give him the opportunity to really go a lot more in depth and share everything that is available on the platform with you, not only just doing a slideshow, but then also potentially sharing the platform and giving you a demo of how it works. So, Jim, I'm really excited. We've had a lot of agents sign up to work
Yep.
with you in the last. I think we've been working together for 7, 8 weeks now, and
Yep.
we've had well over 1,200 agents sign
Yep.
up to work with Jim's company. So
Yep.
they really have something unique. Um, I love the fact that I get to bring something to you that doesn't have a setup fee. I know as agents and investors, you're probably all so tired of paying 300, 500, $1,500 to get set up on a platform just so that they can give you referrals and charge you more money. So I
Yep.
love that Jim's platform doesn't do that. So I'm just going to turn the mic over to you, Jim. Thank you for being here, for agreeing to come spend another hour or so with us today. And buddy, the floor is yours.
Awesome. Thank you, Debbie. Virtual round of applause for Debbie. All the amazing things that she does at Agent Impact is like, it's been phenomenal to get to know her over the last couple months, as she mentioned. What I'm going to be showing today is literally the playbook that we operate by here within Five Star. Just out of curiosity, I'm not sure if I think Zoom has the kind of a raise your hand type feature. Has anyone here in the group ever sold a property to an iBuyer, such as, an Open Door, one of the big companies out there? Just out of curiosity. You can even put it in the chat. So essentially, at Five Star, like Debbie mentioned, and I'm getting ready to get my presentation slides. Awesome, Jay. So yeah, we definitely have some experience here with the iBuyer front. So we operate nationwide, and we obviously, just like any iBuyer, we try to buy as many homes as we can directly from homeowners. But what I'm going to be talking about here today in the presentation is 95% of the opportunities that end up coming in as leads or opportunities actually end up in the agent bucket. We're going to go through all of that information here today. And so when we created our referrals module, it was literally because we needed a solution as a company for all those on-market opportunities. So we're going to go through a lot. As Debbie mentioned, I went through this presentation last Thursday. And then I had like 20 or 25 minutes, and I was talking really, really fast. Today, I get to go a little bit slower. And at the end, I'm actually going to give you an entire demonstration of the platform itself. I will show you exactly how to find our referrals. For those who have referrals, you can post your own referrals into our platform, also absolutely free. Everything I'm showing today is 100% free. So we'll go through all that. And then what people really like to see is I will demo how you can sell a property to Five Star and what that looks like, how easy it is to get an offer. And spoiler alert is that you don't have to talk to us at all. It's actually all in the platform. So you can get all of your numbers, everything that you need for your seller directly out of the platform without engaging us at all. So with that being said, let me get my slides going here. All right. Is everyone seeing what I'm seeing? Does everybody see the slides? All right. Awesome. All right. So as I mentioned previously, Five Star is a nationwide iBuyer, so we literally operate across the country. And I titled this particular presentation "The iBuyer Advantage." How top agents, everyone basically on this call, can quietly dominate their local market. And what I'm going to share today is our exact playbook that we have ran for over 11 years. So this is exactly what we do as a company and why we have so much success. And what I will show you is basically the iBuyer side of the house, and then how the agent also actually benefits or earns more business than even the iBuyer opportunities. First of all, down at the bottom on this particular slide, if you kind of want to jump forward just a little bit. That's the sign up link. If you want to go out, fivestaragentsolutions.com/agent impact. All you got to do is jump out there. That's how you can create an account. Again, everything that I'm going to be showing is absolutely free. Little bit, there's just one slide on us. I think it's important just to understand, who I am, who Five Star is, just credibility's sake. We are a nationwide iBuyer. We flip hundreds of properties every single year. In the process, that generates also thousands of referral opportunities. Now, when I say referral opportunities, this is what we choose to do with the leads or opportunities that we cannot buy directly. But what I'm going to show you here today is you can take those same opportunities that we refer out and you can list those opportunities in your local market. Five Star, here we were established in 2015. Our Better Business Bureau rating, definitely A plus. At this point, we've been trusted by well over 1,200 sellers, lots and lots of sellers. Financial stability, extremely strong. Obviously, we're very experienced on the investor side, but one interesting thing for us here at Five Star as well is we are all licensed realtors. So we have the ability to basically wear both hats, and we're very, very comfortable having conversations with both sides of the house. So whether we're talking to a licensed agent, since we are licensed agents ourselves, or we're having a conversation with an investor. First of all, I like to make sure that we're all talking similar lingo. We're all using the same vocab. And a lot of people may be saying, maybe you're new to the term an iBuyer. What is an iBuyer? So an iBuyer is essentially just an instant buyer. One thing that sets us apart, we're very tech driven. So, we're buying homes directly from sellers. We're going to talk today about why that is so attractive for a homeowner. But we allow for a much faster sale than traditional on-market methods, on the MLS. iBuyers offer speed and convenience for sellers interested in a quick and hassle-free sale. So I'm going to jump straight into one of the kind of key differentiators here in regards to the difference between agents and being an iBuyer. So again, since being a licensed agent myself, I could definitely know both sides of this. I used to market for quite a while as an agent. I know the difficulties, the struggles, and at times, it just feels like throwing money out the window. And so over the years, we've literally perfected, again, this is our playbook that we operate by. But what I've done here is put everything side by side. And so when you think from a marketing perspective, let's kind of start on the left side of this particular slide in regards to, how an agent does a lot of marketing or how it sounds. So from an agent perspective, it sounds, from a seller, it sounds like, let's talk about listing your home. So that's a conversation. Versus on the iBuyer side of the house, we're literally saying, we want to purchase your house. We have an offer for you. And oh, by the way, when you sell to us, you actually get to dictate all of the terms. So when I'm talking to an agent, especially with this particular slide, I'm always, put yourself in the mindset or the shoes of the seller. Which one of these messages, really resonates more with? You can see, on the left side, what agents market: expertise, pricing strategy, negotiation. How basically the things that you're going to be trying to differentiate yourselves in regards to the agent side. On the iBuyer side, speed and certainty, convenience and control, flexible closing, post occupancy, guaranteed outcomes, no showings, no repairs, no commissions. Again, so if you're in that kind of the seller's shoes, which one of these messages definitely resonate more with you? We go down to seller mindset when responding to the marketing. Sellers are seeing dozens and dozens of agents. In major metro markets, it's not uncommon to have, 10, 20,000 longer decision cycles. And ultimately, from the seller's perspective, it's just that fear of making the wrong choice. On the right side, seller mindset when responding to iBuyer marketing. Sellers are speaking with a real buyer at this point. It's not someone talking about a conversation of listing their house. They're talking to someone that has an actual offer and is ready to buy. They're seeking relief, a hassle-free sale. They want stress, potentially a problem gone. It just depends on the scenario with the particular property. Seller wants to be in the control and they want clarity and peace of mind. So one more slide here in regards to marketing. On the left side, sellers don't wake up wanting to talk to an agent. On the iBuyer side, sellers want that certainty, control, speed, and convenience. And so the marketing outcome on the agent side, every agent sounds the same. Sellers delay decisions, too many choices. Sellers feel pressured, uncertain. Agents sell the process, and that's the end game. So when you flip over to the iBuyer side, again, the iBuyer is selling the outcome, a property sold. So the marketing outcome on the iBuyer side, they market to pain, not ambition, just pain. So the marketing outcome for the iBuyer, sellers, on our side, this is one of the biggest things I love to drive home with an agent. I was like, I'm sure everyone, especially licensed folks that are on this call, from your marketing, like you can literally, this is what I used to do as a licensed agent. You would chase some of your leads, some of your opportunities for months. I've chased people for 6 months. I've chased some people for 12 months. The biggest difference when someone raises their hand and they want to have a conversation with somebody like us on the iBuyer side, and I'm going to show you how to have the exact same conversations on your end, is like these folks are super motivated, and we have tons of data to show that when a lead or an opportunity comes in on our marketing, they make a decision in less than 2 weeks. That's the biggest thing. And I'm sure, folks on the call is like, I'm sure that'd be of utmost interest to you, when you put marketing out, actually getting leads in that are ready to make a decision quick. I'm sure that's something you would definitely be super interested in. So ultimately though, on the iBuyer side, what we know over and over basically on, just carrying on. So seller psychology, what a seller hears from agents is, we'll test the market, we'll see what happens. It depends, no guarantees, all the stuff that, essentially goes back to, it's a conversation. It's not necessarily the outcome that the seller is looking for, to obviously sell the property. Versus, seller psychology on the iBuyer side, it's a real number, it's an offer. Here we are, we're ready to buy your house. It's a defined timeline. So in that regards is like the seller actually get to dictate the terms, is like they get to choose their closing day. When are they moving out? I mentioned post occupancy before. We're going to talk about that in just a moment. It's a feature that 80% of sellers utilize when they sell their property to 5-star, and the benefits that entails. It's a solid backup plan, but ultimately it's a guaranteed outcome that the seller can bank on. So the very next slide that I have in my presentation, it talks about the literal iBuyer playbook. This is exactly how we work at 5-star. So again, sellers don't start with, I want a list. They start with, I want certainty. So once sellers are educated and they feel informed, most choose to list with you. And we're going to talk about that in just a moment. If you remember from the beginning of the presentation, it's like, all of the opportunities or leads that we get in as a company off of our marketing, only 5% of those do we actually end up buying. All of the other opportunities end up being referrals. For you would be ending up as listings. So step one, you market yourself as an iBuyer. And I'm sure the very first question you have is like, well, how do I do that? I can't buy their house. It's like, that's why you have us. Is like when you register in the platform, now you can literally buy homes and renovate, flip those homes as an iBuyer. So market yourself. I tell people all the time, one of the fastest, easiest things you can do, go out to your socials and literally just put a post out there as, I'm buying houses. I buy them as is, no repairs, no closing costs. And I guarantee you'll probably get 1 or 2 people that bite at that. So I tell agents all the time is like, change your marketing to start marketing like an iBuyer. So sellers will respond to marketing that leads with get an offer today. So you lead with a certainty, which is, the selling to 5-star in our case, which provides that defined timeline. They get to choose their closing date, all the advantages there, puts them in control and gives them that guaranteed outcome. Now, ultimately, what you're going to do is, and hopefully I'll be able to demonstrate here in just a moment the actual platform. You're going to actually give them an offer. So, if you're partnering with us, which I highly recommend, you'll give them a 5-star offer, and you'll give them that offer in a matter of seconds. And that's what I'm going to show you in a moment with a demonstration. Only then, so we lead off with this, the iBuyer side, the certainty, putting the seller in control. Only if the seller says no to this particular scenario would I shift into what you know best, which is, your licensed agent hat. If they say no to being selling their property to an iBuyer, then shift to selling their property on market via the MLS. And so that's the entire conversation. And then if you saw my slides here, he's like, less than 5% of all opportunities or leads actually sell to someone like Five Star as an iBuyer. So my next slide was all about the benefits to a seller when they go the iBuyer route to sell their home. Number one, they get to sell a property as is, no repairs. They don't have to do anything at all to the property itself. No closing costs. We pick all that up on our end when they sell to us. The ability to sell now but move later, that's post occupancy. So extremely popular, as I mentioned before. 80% of sellers utilize this feature by itself. So what this entails post occupancy is they sell their property to us, literally leave the closing table and go back to the same home that they just sold and continue living in that property. In most cases, usually around 30 days or less is what most sellers request from us for post occupancy. And if you think about that, from an agent perspective, we sell a property on the MLS, who's in control? When you sell on the MLS, it's the buyer. The buyer dictates, when they want to close, when they want to occupy the home, all the various things. We're putting everything back into the seller's hands so that they're in full control. So now they get to go back to the home. They have all their proceeds from the sale. It makes the moving process much simpler. They have the funds to be able to move, all the various things. No realtor commissions. Obviously, that's a big one when someone sells to someone like Five Star. Sellers can move on their own timeline. There's no showings, inconvenience, or strangers in the home. Especially when we deal with elderly folks, the strangers in the home part is actually a big selling point. Just the fact that they can sell someone directly and not have to worry about people they don't know walking through their house. Sellers can leave unwanted junk behind. This is also another very popular feature, again, especially with the elderly. If you have very large, heavy furniture, various things, sellers, they know they want to downsize or wherever they're going next, and they can't imagine having to move some of the stuff in their house. This is another big convenience to be able to sell it to someone like Five Star. It's literally just a checkbox in our system to handle junk removal, and it's just literally built into the offer. And then finally, the ability for the seller to choose their closing date. So
Jim,
then, we walk in.
I think I removed the offensive person. So if
Okay.
you want to
Yeah.
try and share
Awesome.
again.
Awesome. Let's go for it.
And Jim, real quick, if you click more, you can disable annotation for others, I believe. Try that.
Okay. Yep. Yep. Okay. Let's try that too. All right. You see my slides? All right. Perfect. So we're back. Well, actually, let me, let's go. So this is the slide just so everyone could see all the benefits, because there are several benefits for a seller when they sell to an iBuyer, just so you can see those in writing. But this is what really clicks, is what we're getting ready to go through. So this is what brings everything full circle for an agent. So what I like to do is walk through an actual hypothetical scenario. This is the stuff we see all day, every day as agents when we're talking with sellers. So here's our hypothetical scenario. Seller contacts you with a property they would like to sell relatively quick in the next 30 days. As soon as I hear next 30 days, I'm already thinking, I'm not sure I can accomplish that as an agent on the MLS. So I'm already thinking this could be a fit for someone like an iBuyer. Well, let's go on. Seller has 3 dogs, 2 kids. They're concerned about keeping the house clean for showings. That's every day as an agent. I'm sure, as clients, this is what we hear all the time. The property was built in 1994. It's had minimal updates. So we're dealing with a property a little over 30 years, and you can imagine what minimal updates. I'm sure you have a picture of what the inside of the house probably looks like. The roof was replaced 3 years ago, but everything else is original to the home. And so when you put your agent hat on, I've got some numbers here over to the right. You're having that conversation with the seller is like, well, this is what we could probably put this on the MLS in current as is condition. You're running basically an as is CMA, finding other properties that are similar condition to this home and what they sold for. So you're telling the homeowner in as is condition, we could probably put this on the MLS for $200,000. Now, in the back of your mind, you're also thinking, if this house had about $50,000 worth of renovations done to it, I know it could be worth 250,000. And so you've got both of these kind of scenarios in the back of your mind. But we're going to move forward with both of these scenarios just to show you how both kind of pan out. As an agent, this is the one that definitely makes the most sense to you, I'm sure. We do this all day, every day, list properties. So property's outdated, but our seller is most interested in price and they tell us they're in no hurry to sell. So ultimately they have chose to go the MLS route. So we receive an offer on market for our as-is list price. Pretty basic math here, but we got basically a full price offer at 200,000. Our listing commission was at 2.5%. I'm just keeping very simple numbers here, and we walk away with a gross listing commission of $5,000. This is the typical math we deal with all day, every day. Let's go to the other scenario. So this is the exciting one. So that same property, if the seller is interested in all of the convenience and benefits that Five Star brings to the table, what I'm going to show you as an agent is you can earn 3 to 4x plus more than a listing by selling that same property to Five Star. So again, when you're out there as an iBuyer, you change your marketing, you start saying, I'm ready to give you an offer on your house. You're utilizing our capital, our investing experience. You restore that property value. You're tapping into all of our renovation, project managers, construction. You tap into all of it. And you share in the profits on the actual deal itself. And this is one of the really cool parts is once the renovations are complete on that property, we give the property or the listing back to you. So you take it to the MLS and then sell it. And so ultimately, when you sell a property to Five Star, you get profit sharing in the deal, plus you get the listing on the backside. And you can probably imagine, especially agents on the call, everyone knows is like when you have especially a really nice listing, you're going to get some ancillary business out of that. There's probably 2 to 3 additional pieces of business if you work open houses, like all the various things, strategies that come with listing strategy. And so that same property, now keep in mind, now we renovated it. Five Star purchased this property. Five Star put the $50,000 into the property. We ran the entire construction project on it. Now that same home was worth $250,000. We give you that property to go list. So you're listing it at the 250. We're using the exact same listing commission for apples to apples comparison. So your gross listing commission is $6,250 plus profit sharing in the actual deal itself. So in this case, $10,000 netting you for the agent when you sold that property to Five Stars, $16,250. And so, I didn't mean to go there. Not sure what happened there. So right here, I was like, this is the slide that usually lands for all agents, so you have your 2 scenarios. You got your listing on the left, or if you find that opportunity where the seller is interested in selling to an iBuyer like Five Star, you use 16,250 on the right. The most important thing on this slide, though, is you win either way. And so actually, before I move off of that slide as well, is like when you think about us as Five Star, when we landed on this business model years and years ago, you can see why we continue to operate the same business model today. I think anyone would choose a business model where you can win either way the seller chooses. So ultimately, the toolkit for success, hopefully you've already signed up into the platform. Again, everything is free. Once you get into our world, these are the 4 buckets you now have access to. Obviously, what we're highlighting the most here today on this presentation is the ability to sell to Five Star. So you'll see sell to Five Star on your platform or in the system. It enables you to get an offer, a 5-star offer on any property in the country in as little as 1 to 2 minutes. I'm going to demonstrate this here in just a moment. Since we're all agents on this call, if you've ever had any interest at all of adding a guaranteed sold program to your listing offerings, you now have that ability. So Five Star is your guaranteed sold. When you get in, we're going to talk about the academy in just a moment. You go through our courses. We have an entire lesson just on guaranteed sold. But essentially, what that is giving your sellers the best of both worlds. So you could allow your seller to go on market, say for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 2 months, whatever the seller wants to do. If that doesn't pan out or go the way they thought, you can literally reverse course, and your guaranteed sold option is the 5-star offer that you have in your back pocket. So again, but it's putting the seller in control of everything. The second bucket is the referrals. I'm also going to be demoing this. Now, this again is what we choose to do as a company for all of our listing opportunities for you. Bucket two, especially if you operate this exact business model or playbook in your local market, we would tell you or recommend that you take the listing for bucket two in your backyard. But the referrals module, again, I'm going to demo all of this. It allows you, so if you have your own referral opportunities, by all means, bring them into the system. It's absolutely free to use. As soon as you post or if you apply for one of ours, but specifically when you post, you'll get applicants interested in your referral literally in a matter of like 1 to 2 hours. It's extremely fast. And so when you think about referral opportunities, you're always thinking you want to connect, the referring agent to your seller or buyer or renter as fast as possible. When we switch over to the academy, that's everything education. So all of our courses, again, everything out there is absolutely free. The very first course you'll see out there is actually this presentation. So we like to get everybody in similar thinking in regards to vision. So how to start operating like an iBuyer. And then there's additional courses of getting into the fundamentals and then also starting to think like an investor, just everything that we basically do on a day-to-day basis. And then finally, the community. So the community is basically our entire network across the country of all the agents that are inside the 5-star platform. This is our collaboration. This is also where the education lives as well. But if you jump out to the App Store or the Play Store, you can also find 5-star agent solutions on either one of those platforms. So you can put our mobile app onto your device and it's tied in directly to the community. This is where, again, collaboration with agents all over the country, but also if you have any questions at all with anything with real estate, we would encourage you to post your questions inside the community. So we're going to jump out now as like the exciting part, live demonstration. But I'm going to put this up really fast again. So, at the end, and then we can come back to this. But this is going to be the sign up link for anyone that's ready to jump in. Again, everything's free. Do we want to do any questions, Debbie, maybe, or do you want to jump straight into the demo?
We certainly can do Q&A. I have the chat turned off because of that
Gotcha.
individual, and the unmuting yourself is turned off, which is not something we usually do here.
Yeah.
But if you have a question, you want to raise your hand. Jim, if you want to stop sharing for just a minute so I can
Yep.
see who does have their hand raised. It looks like there are 3 people that have their hand raised, but I can't see who it is. Jim, can you hear me?
Yes.
Jim, can
Can
you
you hear
hear
me?
me?
Yep. I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, can you stop sharing your screen?
Yep.
Okay, so now I can see. Okay, I'm gonna unmute Shane. Go for it, Shane. Ask your question.
So, do I have to be an agent to do this? Is that what I'm hearing?
It's definitely beneficial. So no, you don't have to be an agent. So we can do everything up to, we obviously can't give you the listing side of it because you're not a licensed agent. But we can definitely do the profit sharing. We can do all the other aspects. It's just that last component of listing the renovated property.
So I'm going to suggest, Shane, that, and I'm going to unmute you one more time in case you have a follow-up, but I'm going to suggest that if you have a property and you don't have the bandwidth to be able to flip it yourself at the time, you're too busy, you don't have the capital right now, whatever it
Right.
is, that you can bring that property in. And if Five Star purchases it and flips it, they will give you 20% of the profit from the
Okay.
flip. So that does allow you to capitalize and not lose out entirely.
So on the profile part, what do I put? It says please specify your brokerage, and I don't
Just
have
put
a
other
brokerage.
there.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well, I
just put
said
other.
other, and it says to enter brokerage name. So,
Maybe put NA in there.
okay. All right.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's primarily it's gathering your brokerage information for the referrals module, but since you're not licensed, you're not going to be using that module anyway.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much for your time today. I really appreciate your
Absolutely.
presentation.
Thank you for the question.
Yeah, no problem.
All right, Angelique, I just asked you to unmute so you could answer your question. And I'm really sorry, you guys, that we have to do it this
Oh,
way.
okay. Hi, how is everybody doing? Um,
Excellent.
so I have a house that's actually on the market right now.
Okay.
Um, I had plans done to build a DAU in back. So I mean, it would be a great project because that's
Angelique, you're
and
breaking up. We can't hear you. So
Mm.
we heard that you have a house on the market and
some
you'd like to put a ADU in the back. I think that's what you said. Yeah. Angelique, we lost you. Um, I'm going to move on to Win. Win, I just asked you to unmute if you'd like to ask your question.
okay, there. Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can.
Yep.
Okay, because I was talking, you just couldn't hear me. So,
Hmm.
and I have plans to build a dadu in the back, but I have it on the market, and I just lowered the price. But I know it will be a great project. The com-
No, you broke up again, honey. I'm sorry. Win, go ahead and ask your question.
I think part of my question is already answered by the first person that I'm sorry, I couldn't remember his name. He asked the question. He's not an agent, and then you guys have alternative solution as far as not losing out on a deal. Um, he get like 20% profits from the deal if it goes through. Um,
Yep.
I like that idea. I love that idea. And you mentioned that five-star service or platform is free completely. Is that correct?
Yep. 100%.
Okay, great. I love the presentations. I'm a mortgage loan originator, by the way.
Yep.
I don't deal with the sales or the buying part, but any agents within this meeting, would like to reach out and discuss about interest rates or have any questions regarding loans process for their customer. Please feel free to reach out. I think that's all I have to say. Thank you very much for the
Excellent.
presentation.
I love it. When you get into the platform, if you don't mind, send me a direct message. I actually have a very unique kind of perspective or strategy specifically for mortgage loan officers. Mhm.
Great. Thank you, Jim. We'll be in
Yep.
touch.
Absolutely.
All right, wonderful. Andre, I just asked you to unmute so you can ask your question.
Yeah. So, is there any way that we can get recording a copy of this information that we're getting, or should we just go on 5 star?
So both, this is being recorded and my VA is going to have a little bit of work to do, kind of editing out some of the garbage, but it will be up on our YouTube channel within 48 hours. And as soon as I get through all the questions, I will go and put the link to our YouTube channel in the chat so you guys can download that.
One thing I would say on
My
that as
last
well is
question would be,
this exact presentation. If you get into the platform, you'll see right off the dashboard. This is a course in itself. This exact everything that I just did, so you can watch it on demand. It's already pre-recorded.
okay. All right. Thank you much.
Awesome.
All
Thank
right,
you.
thanks, Andre. Stephanie, I'm asking you to unmute now.
Hello, good afternoon. I'm
Good
Stephanie
afternoon.
Goins. I had a question. I'm a fairly new agent.
Good.
Are you only taking in houses that need to be repaired, or can it be like semi-new construction or I mean, what kind of properties are you looking for exactly?
Literally anything. So one of the really exciting things, like if you get an account, go through the how to start flipping homes with no capital or experience. I actually have a lesson in there where I show a property in Georgia that was an absolute disaster, which is your kind of typical flip. But then I show you absolute beautiful $1.6 million home in San Antonio that we technically flipped, I guess, but all we did was literally paint it. And so what it really boils down to is the seller, not necessarily the property. It's more about the seller's motivation. Are they looking for the speed, convenience, everything that an iBuyer brings to the table, not necessarily the property itself. So to answer your question there, no, we've actually, I wouldn't say as many, but we've flipped just as many nice properties as kind of your traditional ugly houses. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay.
Now, another question.
Yep.
I have a current have a listing and she's trying to get rid of the property quickly. However, she is kind of competing against because it's fairly new construction.
Okay.
So the builder sold it to another builder, and now they're building more properties. So now she's a little upside down, kind of on her more like she owes more than
Yep.
what they're selling it for. So
Yep.
would that be something that you guys or would consider, or do they have to have a substantial amount of equity?
I wouldn't say substantial, but they do have to have some equity. Usually our highest offers are like 80 to 85%. So I would say at minimum, they probably need to at least have around 15%. And even
Mm,
on the agent side is like, this is what I used to tell sellers, just back of the napkin type math is like, even if you sell on the MLS, your chances by the time what you're going to net is probably going to be around, 90% of whatever you go on the market for. So our highest offers aren't too much different than what they can get on the MLS, but it's not going to be, we have sellers all the time, as you can probably imagine, contact us thinking we can buy full market, and that's just not the case, especially for a company like us that are flipping properties.
hmm.
We have to have some type of margin in there to be able to turn some type of profit.
Gotcha, gotcha. Okay, thank you.
Great question, though.
Mhm.
Great, thank you. Antonio, I just asked you to unmute.
Hey, good afternoon, guys. Can you hear me?
Yep. Good afternoon.
All right, how's it going? So my question is might be a little bit of a silly question, but going off on your screenshots there where you said the as is value was 200,000,
Yep.
right? And you put 50,000 into it, and
Yep.
that's the ARV. So I'm assuming, right, you would have to get that a lot lower. What is that percentage looking like for you to be able to do the 16,000?
Yep. So, I mean, it's all over the board. Actually, if you go through our courses, I have an entire lesson and where it breaks down all the numbers for those, all the financial details. Like I said a moment ago, our highest offer is usually around 80 to 85%. Our lowest offer is probably going to be more like 70 to 75%. And then you got to back out the repairs that the property is going to need as well. So if it's a beautiful property, those repairs could be close to zero. If it's a property that needs a lot of work, the repairs are the repairs. It's like we don't make a profit on the repairs. So
Gotcha. Okay. And then now are we going to be the ones negotiating with the seller, or do we just pass that on to you?
So both, that's a great question. Is like, especially for your first deal, like if you need some assistance, our team's definitely known to, three-way calls, or we've literally just been introduced by agents. Say, hey, can you help me close this first deal? Absolutely. I say, we'll do whatever we can to help you get a deal across the finish line.
Okay, awesome. And then my last question, do you guys do anything with land developments?
We haven't got really into even new construction. We haven't got into new construction or land development. We've definitely sold vacant land, but not necessarily in the development phase.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. Thank you. That was all my questions.
Awesome. Thank you.
All right, James, I just asked you to unmute.
Yes, ma'am. And thank you for that. When I text you, how you fast you responded. Hey, Jim,
Mhm.
your program, is it just for residential or also commercial?
Residential. Great question.
Okay, and the other thing is, I'm a licensed agent and I see quite a few homes in my area.
Yep.
And I'm in the Columbia, South Carolina area.
Okay.
And some are, quite a few are vacant. You know, they just been sitting there. They got a sticker
Yep.
saying that there's no water, no running water, no power, blah, blah, blah.
Yep.
Are those the type of homes you also target
Yeah, I wouldn't
to
say necessarily target. I
revitalize?
mean, there's a lot that goes into
revitalize?
it. When we do our underwriting as a company, we're always looking at the area. Does it make sense to flip here? You know, what's surrounding the properties? You wouldn't want to go in to make a property beautiful. It's if it's surrounded by some rougher properties. You're always thinking from the buyer that's going to come along is like, is this somebody that's going to, buyer wants to live here long term? There's some various conversations, but we have so many different strategies when we're doing underwriting and looking at a deal. So even if a retail buyer is not the best solution, we also have other avenues that we can explore to be able to put a deal together.
Okay, thanks, Jim.
And no problem.
All right, Orlina, I just unmuted you.
Thank you. Hi, Jim. I
Hi.
came kind of late, so forgive me if I missed some stuff. I am an agent as well.
Yep.
I did have a question because I do work with a lot of investors and wholesalers.
Yep.
Do you do anything with wholesalers, I guess, as long as the profit margin is there? Is that something you do? Because I know time is of the essence. So sometimes, you have a time frame and they don't want too long of a due diligence. So what's the turnaround time if we submit an address to you that you can get back to us?
So we'll get to that here in just a moment. I'm actually going to demo the platform itself, and there is no delay at all. You literally get the offer immediately, and you don't have to talk to us at all. So that's one point. On the wholesaling side is like, so we compete with wholesalers all day, every day. Unfortunately, I'm not going to say anything. I'll try to keep my comments very positive, but the majority of the wholesale offers are out there are not legit at all. We know that our offers are the most competitive offers you could probably get in the marketplace. And if they're above us, it's like, I have no idea what they're doing. So unfortunately, we get the joy of trying to educate sellers on the difference between us, which we consider ourselves a legit or a real investor because we're actually buying these properties with our own money and our name goes on the deed versus, what wholesalers are out there doing. So I'm not sure if hopefully that answers the question.
Yes, it did. And then I had another
Awesome.
one in regards to the um, profit sharing. So I guess it would depend on the price point of the
Yes.
property.
Yep.
And is that a tiered layer? Do you break that down somewhere?
Nope, it's not tiered at all. To give you a perfect example, I just shared this with someone the other day. One of an agent, literally, we just flipped a property in Chicago. A very nice flip for us as a company. The agent netted 38,000 and some odd dollars off of that one property. Is like, so it literally, obviously higher price points are usually stronger profit margins, but it literally works at every price range.
Okay, thank you.
And that's not your average. I'm not here to say you're going to make 38,000 on every property, but it was a very successful flip, and everyone enjoyed that one. So
Excellent. And Lindsay, I just asked you to unmute.
Hi, yes, I'm an agent and a loan officer in South Florida. This is great.
awesome.
I just wanted to know if you guys deal with condos or
Yep.
co-ops or anything. Oh, cool.
Yep.
Wonderful.
Condos all the time. So I'm in South Florida myself right now. I'm in Naples. So yeah, condos we definitely deal with quite a bit, especially in Florida.
Oh, awesome. I can't wait to sign up.
Awesome. Absolutely. It's all free. Enjoy.
Excellent. I've
Thanks.
dropped the link in the chat a couple of times too. For those of you who don't like to type it in, the link, you can just click on the link in the chat there. Marcia, I just asked you to unmute.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm here. I had a question regarding the price point. Are you specific about a price point in terms of the type of properties? And does it include possible luxury assets?
Yep. Nope. I was like, so the property I was talking about a moment ago that we did in San Antonio, I would definitely classify that luxury. It had literally just been built in 2023. We purchased that property last year. It appraised at 1.6 million. So that shows you kind of, we can definitely work in that price range. I would say our typical though is kind of your affordable housing. So again, we're all over the country, but I would say our average price point, 300 to 400,000 is probably our average price point. But we literally work at all values.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
All right, Andre, I just asked you to unmute.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. So I just had a quick question, and as I stated earlier, I'm not an agent and I'm a contractor, and so I was wondering, what avenue should I take as a contractor to partner with y'all in some way, since y'all do, work all over the states.
So I would say on your side of it, it'd be very much like the investor. So if you identify opportunities out there, even for you, the profit sharing aspect of it is 100% in play. It's just we couldn't do the listing aspect of it because you're not licensed. However, as like that seems like a nice networking relationship for you to be able to build with a realtor, a local agent in your market.
The other thing that you could do is if Jim doesn't already have a contractor that they work with in that market,
Oh yeah.
you might be able to work with him as the contractor who actually does the remodeling or subcontractor or
We're
something.
always looking for contractors. Yeah, we have tons and
Right.
tons across the
I
country.
guess
We're
that was
always
my
looking.
question. Yeah, I guess that was my question. Like, what's that look like? Like, so should I, is it gonna be online or should I get that after the meeting or how's that go?
To be put on our list as a contractor?
Yeah.
I tell you, if you want to, I'm trying to think the best way there. I mean, if you want to still sign up for the platform, you can definitely reach out to me directly once you're in there. Just
Okay,
give
I'll
me all
just
your
do that.
contact information. I'll send it over to our project managers that run all of our construction projects.
All right. Thank you much, man.
Absolutely. Thank you.
All right, Jim, that is all of the people that have their hands
Awesome.
up. Is there anyone else who wants to ask a question before Jim starts the demo? All righty, Jim, go for it.
All right, so this is what I really love demoing. Hopefully, everyone's had an opportunity. So Debbie pumps out. I love the partnership that we have between us. As like so, every time a new referral gets generated internally within Five Star, immediately goes out to her group. So it'd be awesome if someone in here has already experienced this. But um, let me get our system up here. All right, Debbie, you see my screen? All right, awesome. So this is the Five Star platform. So when you log in, this is what you're going to see. You're actually going to come to this dashboard. The first thing I would point out is here's the courses I was just mentioning. So this is the exact presentation we went through today. So the iBuyer playbook, how to dominate your market. Then you'll go into how to flip homes today with no experience or capital. And then we start getting you thinking like an investor with our third course. So off of the dashboard is one way. So we'll just kind of staying focused on referrals here at the moment. So you can see all of our referral opportunities that are available are labeled. You'll see our logo. If there's someone else in here, that's a realtor or an agent in the country somewhere in the US that has basically posted one of their own referrals. But to post a referral, actually let's focus more on the available referrals. So because this is what agents get very excited about. Again, we generate at least 5 to 7 out of 5 star every single day. So you can see, all the posts that are in here. So when you come into available referrals, what you're going to be able to see is literally every referral across the country. But when you switch this little filter right here to just show my local market, notice, for me, there's no referrals that match. Now you may be asking, what is that filter? If you come up to the top right under your profile, your coverage areas is what we're looking for. So this is one of the first things we ask you when you sign up is give us every single county that you operate in as a licensed agent. And then every single time a referral gets added to the system and it matches one of your counties, you'll be immediately notified so that you can apply for that referral opportunity. So that's basically what we have here. So you can see all the various referrals that come in. You can click on one of these. You see what it looks like. This particular one looks like it's a seller opportunity. It's a listing. This is a 5 star generated referral. So you see the property value for the property that the seller is looking to sell is around 150, 200,000. We always give some type of description. Again, you're going to see this, especially in our referrals, quite a bit. Ready to list ASAP. I mean, these people are ready to go. So if you ever get one of our 5 star generated referrals, just know you got to act on it pretty quick. The seller's looking to make a quick decision. So here's another one. It's just We have a nice FAQ section in here, all the various things. But let me walk you through. So that's the available. So that's how you would find all of the referrals that are in the system, just to show you how easy it is to apply. I mean, not apply, to post if you did have a referral opportunity. So like I mentioned a moment ago, I'm actually located in South Florida right now, but say I just worked with a seller and they told me, they gave me the listing here, but they also said, I'm looking to buy a home in Indianapolis. So you literally just come in, you say, where do you want to post your referral? It's going to be in Indianapolis. What kind of referral is it? It's going to be a seller referral, or no, it's going to be a buyer referral. They told me that they would like to have a house in the 300 to 350 range. What are you willing to pay for the referral, for the referring agent? So I'll come in here and say, maybe I'll do a 30%. You can put something in here. Whatever you want to put for basically some enticing language to get people to apply for your referral. Click next. This is literally it. Say I confirm all the details. That's how simple it is to add a referral to the system. And boom, your referral's in. Again, this is all free, even posting. So you can apply for referrals, you can post referrals, it's all free. So now my referral has been added to the system, and look at that. It's like we already have an agent. So we have an agent that literally applied. And so when I click on, so all of your interested applicants that are interested in your referral, now you can just start going through them. So this particular person just applied for the referral. Here's their application, all the various things of why they want it. If this is the person I want to go with, you have the selectability for one person. You can see we have short list built in. If you want to dismiss them, we try to keep it very organized out here on your applicant screen. Let's say we want to go with this particular person. So we're going to say select. Are you sure you want to select this applicant? Yes. Now you can put in the information for your actual client. So this is your actual client information that's going to be shared with the person that you selected only. So you're going to save that contact information. Now this is really cool. So we built in the entire e-signature process for the referral itself. I'm sure if you've ever generated a referral, it's actually quite painful. To get the PDF, you load it into DocuSign or .loop or zip forms or whatever you're using. It takes time. Well, this entire thing is all just a click of a button. So I can literally generate that referral agreement just by clicking this. And what it's saying is it's just confirming the details. So here's the referring agent, which would be you. And here is the receiving agent, who we're going to be sending the referral to, along with the client information that you're ready to share and the referral fee. If all this looks good, obviously you can go back and correct anything if it's not, but if it looks good, you literally just hit generate agreement and boom. Now you can see both parties, the referring agent being me and the receiving agent, both just now received emails for e-signature. I can sign mine right now. So just coming out here, here's the referral agreement that's built into the system. Blah, blah. Boom. When we come back to the system, notice I've now signed and we're still waiting on the signature from the receiving agent. So we love some of these features. Actually, there you go. The receiving agent just signed as well. So it's also in real time. And you can see how easy the process is to walk through a referral. So before I move over to sell to 5-star, what kind of questions can I answer on the referral side?
David,
All
I
good.
just
Nope.
had you or asked you to unmute, I think.
We love the referrals module.
Hi, Jim. This is David
Yes.
out in Colorado. Hey,
Yep.
on that referral agreement, I know it's a standard one, but most of our brokerages have their own referral
Yep.
agreement. Can we
Yep.
load that? Can we load that up in the system and use it that way, or
So not
can we
in the
use that?
system, it's not in the system itself, but we actually give you a box right here. It says I completed an external referral agreement if you don't want to use our built-in.
Okay.
Yeah, because we
Thanks.
definitely understand that.
And something that I might add, David, is you might just go ahead and get their signature on this kind of cursory referral agreement, just so that you have something before you send the information out, and then work with the agent through SkySlope or whatever you're going to use to get their signature on the brokerage referral agreement. All right. There doesn't look like there's any other
All right.
questions. Jim, go ahead and.
We'll take it then, as it's very straightforward to use. So again, to find all the available referrals is here. If you ever submit an applications, you'll find all of your applications under submitted applications for future reference. And then if you're ever awarded a referral, either from 5-star or any agent in the country, you'll find all of your awarded referrals under this section. But the whole module, in my opinion, is extremely easy to use. And I would welcome anyone, if you have referrals, post them in here, or if you want to apply to any referrals, by all means, have at it. Mm-hmm. All right. Well, let's go over to sell to 5-star. So this one's also fun as well. I like to demo this one off again. Just because of what I shared in the presentation, you don't have to talk to us at all. You get all of your numbers. I'm going to walk you through everything, how you can get an offer immediately out of your platform, out of your account. So the first thing you're going to do if you're interested in getting an offer on a property to potentially sell to 5-star is you over under sell to 5-star to the left, you have this add new offer. And you're going to notice everything in the system is all form based. We try to make everything extremely simple to use. So I'm just going to use property address I have on top of my head right now. So you're going to enter in whatever the property address is that you want to get an offer on. So you click that. It's going to ask you confirm the address. Yep, that looks good. Confirm property details. So we have APIs definitely fully integrated into the platform itself. So for the most part, we always know what the specs are in a particular property. However, as I'm sure you've experienced before, listing properties and various things, every once in a while, something could be different. So you definitely want to confirm, everything that we're putting in front of you in regards to what we know about the property. But if it's different, all you got to do is just be able to edit those fields. So if square footage is different beds, baths, whatever. But in this case, this is exactly the property that I'm looking at. So 1392, 3-bed, 2-bath, built in 1954. So all good. So the very next screen, rehab scope. We keep everything extremely high level at this point. So if you're talking to a seller over the phone, you kind of got to get a feel for the property. In regards to rehab scope in these particular buckets. If you're walking the property, it's a piece of cake. And so you'll see here, we only have 4 buckets. Again, try to keep everything extremely simple, but the rehab scope under cosmetic, if you were to do a cosmetic rehab on a property, we consider that to be new paint, floor, and new light fixtures. If you're going to move up to the light rehab scope, we would consider everything in cosmetic plus remodeling the kitchens and the bathrooms. If you're going to step up from there, moving into medium is everything in light. So it's include the bathrooms, kitchens, paint, floor, light fixtures, and then 1 to 2 high ticket items. Common question with agents, what are high ticket items? So that would be things like it's all your structural and mechanicals. So it's going to be like your roof, your windows, all the things that come with high price tags. So foundation, plumbing, any type of electrical, all of those things is what we would consider high ticket. And then finally, you've got the heavy, which would be everything that you, again, up here, but instead of 1 to 2 high ticket, you got 3 to 4, potentially even more high ticket items. So for the most part, this, especially after you put a couple properties into the system, you'll fly through this. I can literally get an offer usually in under 60 seconds. Out of our system. Now, finally, we put this one in here. This is actually a really popular one as well. A lot of agents, you have relationships with contractors or GCs in your local market. We have a lot of agents that literally will just take their contractor to a property, and at that point, just forget the rehab scope. As like you have a bid, as like all you got to do is choose this option. Now you can put in your contractor quote or actual estimate right into the system. So I mean, there's no guessing at that point. So, but let's say on our property, pretty good condition, but it definitely needs, let's just say, paint, floor, and some light fixtures. So the very next thing, again, as agents, we're very familiar with this conversation. So, if we were to do those items that we just indicated for rehab, construction, renovating this property, what do we think this property is going to be worth when those renovations are complete? So let's just say 275. We did build in the Zillow just so you can jump out there and get their number really quick, but we definitely know what this estimate is. It's just a number. It's definitely not anything that we put a lot of merit on. So as an agent, though, we say if we did all these renovations, it's going to be worth 275, and that's it. So you can imagine how fast, once you get this process down, how fast the process is. Now, when we get to this particular screen right here, this is, going back to the presentation. Again, this is where it kind of comes full circle. So initially, we give you the offer range. So this property needing a light renovation. This is the offer range that 5-star would be able to purchase that property for. So we're saying somewhere between 163 and 219. So when we're talking with agents is, one, you're all extremely busy, just like us. Is like, we don't have time to sit here for 20 minutes and plug in every detail to a property to get an offer. It's like, we need something this fast just to have that initial conversation. So we have an offer range now that we can go talk to the seller. And it's like, I have some options here. If you're interested in all these benefits of just being able to sell and skip the entire traditional process of putting your house on the MLS. And it looks like they would offer somewhere between 163 and 219. And before we go any further with that, I just wanted to know if that's anywhere in the ballpark. In our, stance, this is exactly how we operate every single day. This is all you need to have that initial conversation. Now I'm just going to keep stepping you through this so you see the entire process. But you're going to see we're very much step driven. So you'll see everything's just it guides you along the way. We also like check boxes. So it's just verification along the way. So you can see step 2 is not even available to us because we need to check this box right here. So it's basically just saying my seller is interested in the offer range and has requested final offers. So literally they said, I might be open to something in 163 to 219. I just need to know a little more information. That's all we need to know. Now we're going to spend a little more time to get more detailed numbers for this particular seller. But as you can see, everything in the system is completely automated. You're not talking to us. You don't have to talk to us. Everything is, on your time frame. You could be doing this at 2 in the morning or whenever it is. So we're going to check that box there. My seller is interested in the offer range, confirm interest. Notice step 2 is now available to us. Now we're going through because now we're leading up to, getting final offers out of the system. So again, we're confirming property details again, because all this feeds into the formulas. So we want to make sure, again, all this stuff is accurate for the most part. 99% of the time it is. Again, a checkbox. I have confirmed these property details are accurate. Move on. Step 3. So you can see here, now we're still under step 2, but confirm property details. We did. You can see it's complete. So now renovated value. So, we already put that in before. We think it's going to be 275 after we do the renovations. I have confirmed my opinion of property value. At this point, a lot of agents will actually do, okay, we got a seller is definitely on the hook here. I'm going to do a detailed CMA. That was kind of a guess when I first put this in, but now I'm really going to confirm this is what the value. So if you need to make a change, now's the time to do it. I'm going to say I've confirmed my opinion of property value after renovations are complete. Save. Now, we love to get this information. When you go through our courses, there's an entire lesson on speed and the importance of speed to an investor. I'll leave that in for that particular lesson, but we always like to get this information from the agent. I'm sure this resonates with you, but 275 is what we think the renovated value is for a property, but we always ask is like, what is that quick sale list price that's going to get this thing pending within 30 days? So if we think 275 is our market value to get this thing sold within 30 days for sure, let's say 270 is going to be our quick sale price. So that's basically a recommended list price from you for the property. So again, checkbox, I anticipate the property will sell within 30 days at the quick sale price. Again, save. Now we're down to 3, and this is the one I like to demonstrate because a lot of people You can get really wrapped up in construction, rehab. We have spent so much time on this particular tool right here to make it as simple as possible. You don't have to have construction knowledge at all. There's crazy things going on the back end with this particular system, but what we have done is when you start our rehab tool, again, check boxes. We've literally broken down every component in the house by where you're at in the house. So if you're walking around the interior, all your interior items are right here. So if we walk in and we're like, yeah, this place definitely needs to be painted, you literally just check a box. And this part, this is what trips everyone up. This is the super complicated part. And we're literally doing it all on the back end based on everything you've told us about this property, where it's located, the market, what we know about pricing in that particular market, all the various things. So we know to paint this house should be somewhere around $6,200. You've indicated that. You've also say, oh, this is the other thing that we like as well. Estimated life expectancy. So everything that we know in regards to primary components of the house, if we know life expectancy, the information is right here. So it makes it extremely easy. Again, when you're walking through a house, you're talking to a seller over the phone, asking them this information. If it's at or above life expectancy for us as a company, it will be replaced. You can imagine as an agent, we've all worked with buyers on the other side. If we try to skip over those things, we're going to pay for it later because we know the buyers are going to ask for it. So, but you can see life expectancy on everything that we know is built into the system. So again, say we think it needs some flooring in here. It's literally just check boxes. That's kind of what we indicated up front. On the exterior, you can see all the exterior items that are available: vinyl siding, garage doors, landscaping, decks, any wood rot, windows, all the various things. Major systems: HVAC, a hot water heater, electrical, plumbing, septic. You got your foundation stuff. Here's the junk removal. So if you are dealing with someone that says, I don't have a clue what to do with all this stuff, it's like, great, you can literally just check a box and they no longer have to worry about anything in that house. It's built in. So we have a lot of people take advantage of that. Finally, you get down to the bottom here. So custom items that's perhaps not above, or if you need to do any type of customization to your repair estimate, you can add as many of these custom repair items down here that you want. And you can see, so at the bottom, it's basically tallied up to be able to renovate based on everything that we checked above, should be around $17,750 to be able to renovate this property. So once you get this complete, hit save, and boom, that's it. Now we have actual offers. These are real offers from 5-Star. And so we have a cash offer of $170,222, and we have an installment offer. And I'm sure you're going to be wondering what an installment offer is. I'd probably point you to the courses in regards to the installment offer. That gives the best explanation. There's like 3 lessons that go very in depth on the installment offer. It's something we're definitely known for. This is how you're going to get up the highest offer available from 5-Star, which can definitely push that 80-85% type realm. But you get both of these offers now available to you, and these are real numbers that if you wanted to, right here is our agreement, and we have some agents that literally just fill this out. Let me show you. So here's the actual purchase agreement that we use. It's just a 2-page. We try to keep everything simple. I mean, you literally fill this out. We can actually walk you through all this as well. Filling this out is it's pretty simple. And you can literally have the seller sign that purchase agreement. And then step 5 is obviously submitting that signed purchase agreement over to us. And then it goes through full underwriting and all the various things you can imagine on this end. But the highlight of this particular demonstration is just to show you how easy it is to be able to get an offer. And you can always go back to any of these steps if anything needs to be modified, and it will actually update everything on the fly as you go. Like rehab estimate is a perfect example. You could go back into your rehab estimate. Maybe you did this over the phone. You get out to the property and you're like, yeah, this needs more than what I originally thought. You can come back here and now modify your rehab estimate and be able to get new offers on the fly. So that was a lot. What kind of questions do I have on Sell to 5-Star?
You guys just raise your hand. I actually, you know what? I'm going to try letting everybody unmute themselves because I think by now that person has probably given up and and left the meeting since they can't. Let's see here if I can figure out how to do that. Well, in the meantime, raise your hand, but I'm going to try and figure out how to let you guys unmute yourselves. Okay, I think I just did. So anybody want to unmute themselves and ask a question? Rayshawn, you should be able to unmute yourself. Go ahead and ask your question.
Okay, thank you. I was wondering what exact criteria is Five Star looking for properties? Is there anything that you, I know you said residential only, but is there anything specifically that you do not want? Like I see a lot of houses that have sat for many years and need extensive remodeling and repair in some of the neighborhoods here in the city. So I was just wondering about that.
Yep. So when you get into the platform and when you get into the course, there's actually an entire lesson just on our typical buy box. But in that lesson, it actually says, while we have a preferred buy box, as like that's one big differentiator between us and some of the bigger companies out there, we'll pretty much entertain anything that makes sense. And when things come across, are submitted to us, we really helped, we dive in and then we basically paint our perspective, whether we can move forward or not and why. And so perfect example, that property I had mentioned just a moment ago that we flipped in Chicago, in a normal scenario, so it was built in 1893. In a normal scenario, most investors, including us, are not too interested in properties built in 1893. But after we looked at that property long enough, we actually had it fully inspected. We were comfortable moving forward, and obviously glad we did because it was a very profitable deal. So it's on a case by case basis. It's very much on the location. But at the end of the day, is like if something makes sense, we're going to entertain it. That's probably the best way I can answer that.
I have a quick question.
Yep.
So I just want to back up a little bit. So you talked a little bit about, I'm a real estate agent, by the way, with Coldwell Banker Prime Properties out of the central New York area. And I'm thinking about, I had a question about, you said that you could, if you had like somebody that, for instance, you wasn't gonna list with me directly, but maybe was open to an offer. If I made a post and said, "Hey, I'm looking to buy homes, cash sale, who wants to sell?" and someone reaches out to me, how do I get funding? So is this where I go to the apartment you just showed, where you put in the property address, everything like that, and then
exactly
you guys are the actual ones that make the purchase on the property, and then do your rehab or whatever you need to do, and then afterwards, I as the agent would get the listing, correct?
100%. So, but I would also point, and again, there's just only so much I can go. I know we're almost 90 minutes already, and I have so much content, so much information in my head that I wish I could share. But if you go through our courses in that exact scenario, there's a course that walks you through. You have two scenarios that you can basically do with that exact situation. One is what you just said there is like you can run the offers from the platform. We buy it directly from the seller. You get profit sharing in the deal, and then we give you the listing on the flip side. The alternative to that, though, is, and it just depends on the seller scenario and how much room you have in the deal. The alternative is you can actually sign a listing agreement with that seller, and then you can or cannot represent us as the buyer. Again, just depends on how much wiggle room's in the deal. You would get the profit sharing and you get the listing. So we can show you, there's actually a lesson in there. It shows you how to get paid 5 ways on the same property. It just depends on the seller scenario.
A couple quick questions, and one, for the profit sharing, I mean, is it generally? I mean, is it like a percentage? Like, I guess how does that work?
20%, and that's outlined in the courses as well. So the profit sharing be 20%, and then you get the listing in addition to that on the backside.
Oh, okay. Last question. So just when I go to create my account, and like you were showing earlier, where there's like offers available, if we click that from like a seller, let's say, is there any referral fees from you guys? How does that work if I accept, like an offer from a seller that's available in my market once I sign up?
Are you talking about referrals or sell to 5-star?
Yes, referrals.
For referrals, gotcha. So if you apply for, so like this is not an agent that's affiliated with 5-star at all. So she posted her own referral. Inside
Gotcha.
here, it will always tell you what they're requesting. So like she's requesting 30% referral for whoever she awards this referral to.
Oh, okay. So if there is, so I guess, so let me just make sure I get this. So there's referrals you can get from other agents that post, and they'll have like their own referral fee. And
Correct.
now, are there any referrals from 5-star directly, let's say in a given county, from sellers you've already worked with and properties you've already bought, and now you just need a listing agent?
100%. So those are the ones that we generate about 5 to 7 every single day
Okay.
inside the system. And the way you'll always spot ours is because you'll see the 5-star logo next to them. And
Okay.
very similar to inside ours is like we're also spelling out the referral fee that we're asking for the referral opportunity. The system itself, in regards to posting, applying, all that part is 100% free.
Oh, okay. Because I was just more worried about if there were any referral fees. And then a question I had, because you were talking about almost the way it sounds like it's almost if you're like you're the wholesaler almost or iBuyer for these properties that we go out and we find and then we put, we refer to you. Um, so that's cool that you guys do all like the funding and you purchasing parts. That way, there's no actual requirement from me, the individual, to go out and show proof of funds or provide any
Exactly.
money or anything like that. Okay,
Exactly.
so no, that makes it so there is an element of wholesaling involved with this, but that's from what it sounds like, which is cool because I already was kind of learning about wholesale, how to do that anyway.
So I don't actually think this would be considered wholesaling at all.
Yeah, no.
You're you're not you're not getting a contract and selling it to someone else for a different price. What they're doing with their referrals, and just to kind of explain a little bit deeper, is Jim spends a ton of money in marketing, right? And so when his people reach out to these homeowners who have in some way raised their hand and said, "Yes, I want to sell my house."
Yep.
When he reaches out to them, if it's not a good fit for them to buy, if the homeowner wants to sell their house, but they don't want to accept the offer that 5-star has made, then they put it in as a referral because the homeowner said, "Yes, I want to sell my house. Oh, you want to pay me 150 for it? No, I need 175 for it to cover the payoff or whatever they want to do." Then they're going
Yeah.
to send it out to an agent who wants to list it. And so there's also it's not a 100% guarantee that they're actually going to list with you, but most of these people are in some kind of financial difficulty
Correct.
for the most part, and they need to
Okay.
sell their house. And
Yep.
so when they say, "Okay, the cash offer didn't work for you, let me list your house and see how quickly we can get it sold," that's really what the homeowner is looking for.
Yep.
Oh, okay. So it's not like your traditional, like there still is. Okay, so it's not like traditional wholesaling. That's where I was confused. I was wondering. So I've never worked with iBuyers. Maybe that's why I
Yep.
just didn't really understand that at first. But essentially, just he's a buyer, and if some homeowner that I contact with, I send him the address. He purchases it, and then he does his rehab, and then as an agent, then once he's done, he hires me to list the property.
That's correct. And you get profit
Oh.
sharing in that actual deal.
Okay, well, no, that answers my questions. So I have
Yep.
no further questions.
No,
Thank you, Jim.
you brought up a really good point there. Another thing I like to talk with agents is like quite a few agents have brought to me before is like, oh, it's like I just had one last week reach out. You hit me at the perfect time. It's like I've never flipped a house. I actually have an opportunity I'm looking at right now. As I'm getting ready to apply for a loan. I'm hearing all these things. I was like, you've never flipped a house. I was like, it's not HGTV. It's not the easiest, like they make it look on TV. So we tell folks all the time is like, if you're just getting into flipping, by all means have at it if you feel that comfortable as like, but we provide some really strong guardrails along with everything you just highlighted there. You get to use our money, you're using our project managers, our construction experience, everything that we know about this industry is like, and when it all shakes out between the profit sharing and the listing, usually we're either 40% or 50-50 in the deal in regards to how everything shakes out with the financials. So I was like, I know everything that we have made available to agents, I know it's extremely lucrative. So I welcome the opportunity to work with folks.
All right. And Robert, your question?
Oh, so most of this is off-market properties, but what about the MLS type properties?
So what I like to say, it's a really good question. What I tell agents all the time, typically whatever's on the MLS, now granted, if it's only like 24 hours old or something, maybe it is an opportunity. But most times is like investors, including us, almost every investor watches what's on the MLS. And so my favorite kind of tagline there is if it was a deal, it'd be gone. So what's on the MLS could be a deal, but I would tell you most times, and like when agents bring us things that are listed, they're usually also bringing us an actual purchase price that's significantly below what list price is on the MLS. So I'm not saying there's no deals out there, but especially the longer the property has been sitting on the MLS, chances are it's not a deal, but that's our experience.
So if there was one like that, is the transaction would be different just
No.
because of so you'd still go through escrow and all that?
Yep, absolutely.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
In that scenario, if it was listed as like, we have no problem, is like an agent could actually represent us as the buyer. You could collect the buyer's agent commission, plus you would get the profit sharing in the actual deal itself, and we would give you the listing on the backside. So just so many different ways of being able to make money.
Thank you.
All right, Orlina.
Okay, so you answered some of it with the previous guy's question, but in regards to the agent bringing you a property, because sometimes, with investors, well, for me in particular, I will go out and say, make an
Wait,
offer
so you have a
to.
question. They've opened up the chat, so you can come in and speak if you have a question about it.
Sorry about that.
No
Go
problem.
ahead.
No problem. So if I bring it'll be like a wholesale deal to you guys.
Yep.
So would I still get, I guess, the assignment fee from the seller to me, to you guys?
So
I guess that's
typically
what
how
you were
those
saying.
work.
Okay.
Yeah, typically how a wholesale deal works is we can buy the deal from the wholesaler. It's honestly, it's quite rare. I would say maybe 2 per year is all we ever buy from wholesalers, just because the numbers usually don't make sense. But sometimes they're legit opportunities out there. But what would happen there is we would actually purchase the deal directly from the wholesaler, whoever's reaching out to you with the opportunity. But then once the property comes over to us, now we own it, we're going to renovate it. That's where you would get profit sharing in the deal itself. And then when we do finish the renovations, you are a licensed agent, correct?
Correct.
Yeah. So we would give you the listing once the renovations are done.
Okay. And then y'all can close as soon as title is clear, or
Oh yeah.
the typical turnaround time, is it?
Yep. I would say our ideal probably no less than 10 days, but we can close that quick. And it's not really a restriction on our end. It's usually always with title, how fast they can get title cleared.
Right.
Yep.
Okay, Scott. Scott Wally, did you still have a question?
I get unmuted. Sorry about that.
Yeah, I was looking for the mute button.
Yeah, I'm like scrambling. On the loan origination, do you have that on the list of courses? Can we go there and look that way, or do we need to contact you directly?
The strategy for loan originators?
Yes.
Yeah, send me a direct message. I'll give you my thoughts on that one.
Your thoughts. Okay. Sounds great. Thank you.
Just reach out to me. Once you get into the community, you can send me a direct message.
I think I already did this morning. So
Sweet. Awesome.
All right, Orlina, did you have another question?
I did. I forgot. So with the, I guess so do you guys kind of act like a hard money lender as well? If we,
5-star?
yeah.
No.
Okay,
Nope.
so if we wanted to do a project with you, so we just basically split the profits with you guys if we wanted to do a project with you guys, or?
Yeah, so you bring the opportunity to us, we purchase it. That's when at that point forward is like whatever we end up getting out of that particular deal, that's where you get profit sharing in the deal itself. And then we give you the listing on the back end. But that's why I was trying to overemphasize. There's no fees. You get access to all of our capital, our experience, our entire team. As I was just mentioning with the community, is like people reach out to me all the time. Like you can literally reach out to me directly inside the community. Is like I'm more than happy to answer questions. Is like all the various things.
Okay, I just want to get clarity on it. Okay,
Yeah,
gotcha.
absolutely.
All right, James.
Yeah, I want to say, Debbie, thank you for putting this this presentation, minus a little hiccup. You did an awesome job.
Thank you.
And for you, Jim, man, where have you been the past 2, 3 years?
I've been around for 11, but no, in all seriousness, so I get that question quite a bit. Is like, where the hell did 5-star come from? As like 5-star has actually been around for 11 years, but we have been direct to seller all the way up until the end of 2025. We literally just launched this agent initiative at the end of 2025. Up until that point, we were exclusively direct to seller. So we were running marketing, talking directly with the homeowners, various things. And again, being a licensed agent, I've always seen the vision here of bridging the worlds together. It's just this is our effort now to be able to do that.
Right. But thanks again for being patient, and I look forward to working with you in the near future.
Awesome. Same here.
Excellent. Looks like Marsha's the next person with her hand up.
Yes, hi Jim.
Hi.
Great presentation, Debbie. Very, really good. I had a question regarding the type of work you're willing to take on. In my area, there's quite a few homes that people are buying and they're adding more square footage to it.
Okay.
So I just want to know if that's something that you're open to.
Yes. So typically, especially for questions exactly like that, do you have contractor relationships in your market?
Absolutely.
That's usually where we lean the most. So as long as our project managers can get comfortable with your contractors, then pretty much anything is open for consideration.
Excellent. Might have something for you.
Okay, perfect.
Excellent. All right, Sita, you're next.
Mute. Okay, here I am. Oh, good afternoon, everyone. Jim was a wonderful presentation, and Debbie, thank you very much. My question is, I'm now getting back into real estate. I just really activate my license last year, and I'm looking. I have an investment property. I did 2 flips already, and I was okay with that. I just made a bad decision this last time. It's on the market, but I plan to rent it when the time comes because I can't afford to lose the funds I put into it. Anyway, my question is, if I come on, I'm now joining this. I'm joining 5-star.
Yep.
Would I be able to receive selling referral for that matter? Or do I have to present properties first in order to do that?
I'm not sure I follow a seller referral.
Yeah, like properties that you have on the site, on the referral,
Yep.
will agent, as a licensed agent, will I be able to apply for those referral?
Oh yeah, absolutely. You can apply for every single one of them.
Oh, great. Because I plan to go and do all the modules and learn what's new in the market.
Absolutely. Yeah, you can apply for as many as you want. It's all free.
Oh, thank you.
Absolutely. I was going to say is like, thank you for sharing. That's the dark side of the industry, if you will. Thanks for sharing, taking a loss or potential loss on a flip. So, what I said just a moment ago is like, there really is something special to partner with somebody like us. Not to say, I mean, we have losses of our own sometimes. There's just things happen, but there really is in those scenarios is like I said, you taking the loss, it's us that takes the loss. Nobody wants to be in that scenario, but there really is something kind of special for the guardrail aspect of what we bring to the market. So
Yeah, but what I worked out is that it is gonna cost me like 8,000 to hold it until I can rent it.
Yep.
So I decided, okay, I'm gonna hold it until I
Yep.
can rent it, recover what I put into it, at least, and then I'll decide on selling it.
Yep.
But I just don't want to take that big loss right now.
I understand.
It's 50% of the value right now.
Yep. Yep. Ouch. Yeah.
Okay, thanks a whole lot, guys.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it.
Okay.
Ron, I see that you're unmuted. Did you have a question?
Yeah, why can I not do a chat? I'm locked out of chat and I don't have any of the controls for raising my hand.
Well, I don't know why you can't raise your hand. The chat is locked. I certainly I can go in and unlock that now as well, but
Well,
the
no,
chat
no,
was
no,
locked.
don't worry about it. I'll just say thank you. I've got all my questions answered because you answered all the realtor questions.
Good.
I'm not a realtor. I'm an
Okay.
investor. How active are you in the Midwest, in Missouri, in Kansas City metro, for example?
All of that. All of that. So I spend half of my year in South Florida and half of my year in Indianapolis. So I'm from the Midwest.
Okay, great. In fact, Indianapolis is a state that I have on my 1, 2, 3 list.
Love it.
I did register on your website, so hopefully I will be getting some kind of communication. I can connect back with you, as well
Awesome.
as go look at these programs. Then I can explain what I do, and I think there's a good fit.
I love it. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Excellent. So, for you guys, there is anyone who hasn't already signed up. The link to sign up is in the chat. It says Agent Impact at the end of it. And then if you want to see the replay of this or any of our other videos, the YouTube subscription is right there in the chat as well. And there is a video up there already from Jim because he was on virtual coffee last week. And so that video is already up on our YouTube channel. It is the condensed version of what we did today. It looks like McCain has a question.
Yep.
Let me see.
You
Okay,
are
I'm
already
unmuted.
unmuted.
Had to check that. This is kind of strange. There's a new thing going on. I'm in Western Washington State, and
Okay.
our state has started this new program where if you're on a lot that's over 3,000 square feet, you can divide the lot and sell part of it or build an ADU, and even in some instances, duplexes and things like that on it. How would something like that factor in? Because most of these properties that are on these larger lots are older.
Yep. We as a company, we have not got into the new construction realm yet. That's something we have never broke ground, no pun intended. So I would say something in new construction probably is not in our wheelhouse. We typically are more focused on, existing structures that we can renovate, be in and out of the deal within 90 to 120 days. We're looking for fast moving projects.
Okay. All right. So just focus on the older houses then.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay, great.
Things that are
Thank you.
So they
existing.
don't have to be old, but
Yeah, they don't have to be old.
it's not new construction, right?
Yeah.
He's not gonna break ground and build something, but even a house that's less than a year old, if the opportunity is right, they will certainly take a look at that property. So
Yeah, when you
we
get
have a
into
lot
your
of those HGTV handyman specials
Yeah,
out here.
exactly.
So
We love HGTV. But when you get into your platform, right at the top, you're going to default to your dashboard here. If you can still see my screen, the 3 courses I was mentioning is right at the top. The investor mindset, this last one, I'm pretty sure it's the very first lesson, is the one on speed, and why we like to be in and out of projects in 3 to 4 months.
Okay, great.
Yep.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
all right, anyone else? Okay, Jim, I think we have worn you out today, and I appreciate your patience with our challenges that we had, but
Yeah, no worries.
we got through them. And thank you for being here and sharing with all of us how the platform works. And I look forward to seeing all of you guys in the community. You know, there's you can go in there and say hi, introduce yourself, and you know, fill out your service areas. That's probably the best thing that I can tell you. It's easy to do. You don't even have to start taking any of the modules before you do that. Sign up, fill out your service areas, and that will get you a notification the next time a referral is placed in your market. And you don't have to wait for me to post it in the group. You'll be able to see it right then and there. And you know, speed to lead, right?
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Well, thanks everyone. Look forward to seeing you guys all Thursday morning for our virtual coffee. My personal business coach is going to be our speaker this week. So high energy. Get lots of coffee because he's super high energy. All right, you guys. See you all on Thursday.
Awesome. Thank you all.